Morning, everybody. Welcome to the January 11th, 2022 meeting of Henderson County Fiscal Court. Happy New Year. And welcome the chance to begin our year with our very first Fiscal Court meeting. We'll begin as we always do with invocation. Please stand and join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, please look over these proceedings as we discern the best things for our community and its citizens. Please watch over our county and all of its people. Please watch over our healthcare workers as they continue to deal with the impact of the pandemic. Watch over our first responders and men and women in uniform both here and abroad. We say these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Magistrate Southern.
Here.
Magistrate Moran.
Here.
Magistrate Putman.
Here.
Magistrate McCollum.
Here.
Magistrate Berry.
Here.
Thank you, and you have before you in your packet the minutes of the December 21st, 2021 meeting of Fiscal Court. After a period of review, I'll entertain a motion to approve those.
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second. Any corrections, clarifications, or additions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. One of the most enjoyable things we get to do is to recognize our Judges Scholar each meeting, and this meeting, our first of the year, is from North Middle School, Mr. Braden Bradley. Very glad to him and his family and his school representatives here. Braden, I'd like to meet you right up here in front. We're going to read the proclamation in your honor.
Right. Whereas Braden Bradley has been chosen by North Middle School to be recipient of the Judges Scholar Award for exceptional efforts in both academics and school activities. And whereas Braden's hard work and dedication in making the most of educational experiences and developing positive relationships with teachers and other students will lead to future success. And whereas success is measured in many different ways, whether it be passing a test, scoring the winning point, achieving a particular goal, or taking the necessary steps for overall improvement. And whereas the Henderson County school system could not let Braden's efforts go unnoticed, and whereas Henderson County Fiscal Court supports the school system and acknowledges these accomplishments as being significant because students such as Braden will be our future leaders. And now, therefore, I, Brad Schneider, County Judge Executive of Henderson, join with the Henderson County Fiscal Court to proclaim January 11th, 2022 as Braden Bradley Day.
Mom and family.
Everybody come.
Bill, you want to take a picture? Get the school people in?
I can take a picture if y'all want to. You got it? Balance it out a little bit. Oh, no. Work out that way.
Thank you all.
Sit up there. Seat of honor there, Braden. Just don't listen to anything that guy does. Congratulations, Braden. Thanks for his family for being here. First order of business every year is to approve our meeting dates and holidays, and you have those in your packet. Note we will be adding the Juneteenth holiday this year, and happy to report I'm helping a Henderson Leadership Initiative group that is planning Juneteenth celebration that Sunday. So interesting to see how that turns out, but any questions about our meeting dates and times?
Do we need a motion to approve?
Yes.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is our annual vote on the fee office budgets in order setting salaries. We are going to be just doing the budget portion today. Next time we meet, the clerk's office and the sheriff's office will have their maximum number for salaries. Approve those. Again, this is annual kind of perfunctory function of ours. Our actual budgets and salaries for those two offices are done during the regular budgeting process. But any questions on the budget documents that are in the packet?
How did they compare to last year's?
What'd you say, David?
About $20,000 higher.
Okay, that's $20,000. Carrie, do you know how they compare year over year?
About 200,000.
200,000? Just on the budgets, not the salaries, right?
No, just on budget, yes.
Budget, okay. Okay.
Could you explain the 200,000? What was that for?
Yeah, it probably has to do with elections.
That's probably a good guess.
Yes, sure. What I do is I take each line item from the previous year and just plug those numbers in. So it's anywhere from fees we take in on driver's license renewals, ad valorem tax, delinquent tax. We took in quite a bit of delinquent taxes with the tax sale.
So this is the gross income?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So y'all are,
Yep.
you're in a little different shape than the sheriff. The sheriff,
Well, and on the
Yeah.
expense side, this is calendar year, so it'll include both
Right.
primary and general elections.
Right. Ours
So-
runs from January to December,
Yeah.
so
Right.
and it was quite a bit more that we
Yeah.
turned over,
okay,
so.
okay. I
Okay.
just wanted
Thanks.
to understand.
Anything else?
Any other questions? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
We do, with that, a motion to approve both sheriff and clerk together? We have to do them separately? Yeah. So let's do clerks first. We have a motion and a second, correct?
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Now for the sheriff, can I get a motion?
Move we approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And again, the salaries we'll handle next time. We have to get that underway. We have a resolution declaring some parks property as surplus. Bill, anything you want to say about that?
I believe the form is pretty much self-explanatory, but according to the KRS, the way we have to dispose of surplus property is bring it in front of the court, have it identified, and you all to approve it before we can get rid of it. So, any questions on the items? And some of this stuff was stuff that we moved out of the old Bill Griffin building, cleaning up over there for Kenny. So we found some items that were over there that were in disrepair, stuff like that. So when we went through everything to see if we could repurpose it, if it could not be, we put it on the surplus property.
Bill, the Groundhog Augers, are those something wrong with them?
The Groundhog Auger was something that we purchased from A Complete Rental over by Norris Hardware years ago. It's what we used to set all the fence posts at the fairgrounds. It is a standalone type auger system that takes 3 guys to operate. And you trailer it behind, it's on 2 wheels. We have since moved up with our tracked skid steer that was bought through recycling a couple years ago through the solid waste grant, the Parks Department purchased an auger system to go on that unit, and it's now a one-man operation and a whole lot better. So this unit is outlived its usefulness, and we've had it probably, Charlie, I bet you we bought it 20 years ago.
Yeah.
At first, we started renting it, and then the guy came to me when I went up, and he said, "Hey, why don't you guys just buy it? I'll get a new one." And so, I mean, back then it was conducive for the court to purchase it, but now that we have a much better and a less manpower unit,
If you've got it on that
we don't need it any
machine,
longer.
then, yeah.
It's operational, but like I said, it takes 3 guys to operate it. So, any other questions?
Make a motion to approve them advertising it?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other questions?
I need to read the resolution.
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
A resolution declaring certain county property to be surplus and providing for the disposition thereof. Whereas the Henderson Fiscal Court is the owner of certain personal property that is no longer of use to the county. Whereas pursuant to KRS 67.0802, the Fiscal Court finds that it is in the best interest of the county to deem the property as surplus and provide for the disposition thereof. Whereas the Henderson Fiscal Court wishes to offer the said personal property to be sold by public auction in accordance with the law at the discretion of the Henderson County Judge Executive. Now therefore be it resolved by the Fiscal Court County of Henderson, Kentucky as follows. Pursuant to KRS 67.0802, the personal property on the list attached hereto incorporated herein is hereby declared to be surplus. It shall be sold at a duly advertised public auction or online auction pursuant to all applicable laws at such time and place and in such manner as shall be arranged by the County Judge Executive. The County Judge Executive or his designee is hereby authorized to make said arrangements.
So now we need a motion.
Make a motion to approve the resolution?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Bill. You might as well stay up there. We have some bid openings. Several, one for uniform services, one for fuel and petroleum products, and another for material bids. So take it away, Bill.
First bids I'm going to open is for the uniform. We got 2 bids. The first one is from Cintas of Evansville, Indiana. Okay.
Is that who we were using?
Do what?
Is that who we were using?
No.
Okay.
We were using Cytex. We have a bid from them also. So let me read this one first. Hopefully these will be comparable on how they bid them out. So I don't know until we open them up. Okay, so we got regular cut jeans at $26 per item. Okay, and then there's perforation replacement cost per year, 1, 2, and 3, and it's $13, $13, and $13 if they have to replace them with perforations. Okay, apparently. Carpenter's jeans. These are Carhartt. They're at cost is $38, and perforated replacement cost 1, 2, and 3 is $22 each year. Denim bibs are at $85, and perforated replacement costs 1, 2, and 3 are at $25.
Did you say 85?
85. That's 85 cents.
Okay.
I guess they charge per day.
Okay.
Those first numbers were all cents. 26 cents, 38 cents, and 85 cents. The other ones were in a dollar amount. Industrial shirt, short sleeve is 18 cents, and then replacement 1, 2, and 3 is $18. Industrial long sleeve is at 18 cents, and replacement cost is at $18. Cotton short sleeve is at 26 cents and $13 per replacement. Cotton long sleeves at 26 cents and $13 per replacement. Khaki pants are at 20 cents and $20 per year per replacement. Coveralls, cotton poly, are at 38 cents and $17 per replacement. Embroidering the company emblem on shirts only is $3. Okay. Upsize garment charges, and it's, there are nothing, and they just have a 6-cent charge for additional charges not listed, it's called Uniform Advantage. And I guess I have to read through here what, I don't know what Uniform Advantage constitutes, but it's a 6 cents per item charge. I will make copies, they only gave one, so they're following COVID guidelines. Next bid is from SciTech here of Henderson County. Okay, looks like we got an exact type thing, so we're a little comparable. All right, regular cut jeans. The weekly rental is 34 cents, and replacement is $22 for year 1 and 2. No replacement cost at year 3. Carpenter jeans, 34 cents, $22 replacement only in 1 and 2. No replacement cost in 3. Denim bib, and this is reflective, is at 92 cents and $54 per replacement year 1 and 2. Industrial short sleeve is 20 cents and $24 1 and 2. Industrial long sleeve is 20 cents and replacement is 24 1 and 2. Cotton short sleeve shirt is 26 cents and replacement 22 and 22. Cotton long sleeve is 26, 22, and 22. Khaki pants are 30 cents and 19 and 19. Coveralls are at $1.16, $112 replacement year 1 and 2. Embroidered company emblem shirts only, $5. Upsize. This is for 2X and above and 42-inch waist and above. Jeans, regular cut, 40 cents. Carpenter jeans, and all the replacement costs are the same as the other ones, what they said. Carpenter jeans are at 40 cents. Denim bibs are at $1.10. Short sleeve industrial shirt is 24 cents. Long sleeve is 24 cents. Cotton short sleeve is 31 cents. Cotton long sleeve is 31 cents. And khaki pants are at 36 cents. Additional charges and that not listed above. SciTech also supplies carpet mats for your entryways and different things like that. A 3x5 or a 4x6 scraper mat weekly is $2 or $3.50. A 3x4 or 3x10 is $4 and $8. Soap dispensers are $6 weekly. Shop towels are at $25.08 weekly, and clean green services are at $10, and a $5 service charge weekly for $15.
Does
will
Centos
get-
not offer that?
Do what?
Does Centos not offer that?
Okay,
They
we
did
did-
not. They did not include any of that.
Correction. We did not advertise for those services. We
No.
advertised only
They're
for
only
the
for the
uniforms.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
So that's what the bid is based on the uniform services only.
Okay.
Not mat rentals or anything else.
So I will make copies of those and distribute them out, and my recommendation, I'm hoping that this is just a duplicate copy for
That's
the
it.
road department itself.
That's just a copy.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay. So,
Bill, have we seen an uptick,
do what?
have we seen an uptick in the money this year?
Yes, and a decline in the services. And that's why we went out for bid this year. Just being honest with you, we've had some difficulties with getting things repaired and replaced, things that are lost, and things of that nature. So Dotsie is the one that oversees this. She's the one that went out for the bid. She's been tracking it, and that's why we went out for the bid. So I would like the court to have me permission to go back and sit down with her and analyze the bids and come back with a recommendation.
Thank you, Bill.
Sounds good. Next is petroleum product bids.
Got one bid from Home Oil and Gas.
That's our current vendor.
That's the current vendor. We only got one bid last year, and one bid the year before, and one bid before that, so.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. The bid analysis table. It looks like with all the add-ons on unleaded gasoline, 87 octane, you're looking at $2.40.60. $2.40.06, whatever. Okay, that's for the unleaded. Number 2 diesel looks like $2.69.27. Off-road diesel, $2.46.57. Again, I would like the court's permission to review the bid, make sure everything is in here according to our bid specifications, and bring back the recommendation to fiscal court at our next meeting.
Bill, how long is this fixed for?
It's good for 1 year, but it's on, you can see what they're at. They're basically on a sliding scale, Charlie, because of the petroleum. They can't, basically it's a markup per gallon based on, what the market's doing. It's hard to, they can't bid a year out because of the fluctuating prices.
So the 240.60 is not
Right.
fixed.
That's where it's at right now, but there's a sliding scale in there.
Basically, the bid is for the percentage of margin they're willing to take.
That's
No
correct.
matter
Right.
what the
Yeah.
price is.
Yeah.
So it's-
There's no way possible anybody
I
can
understand,
do
yeah,
that.
that's what I just was trying
And
to make.
that's one of the reasons we only get one bid.
Yeah.
Some people just choose not to even do it because it's just like more complicated.
Yeah.
So on this bid, it's essentially 3.72 cents per gallon.
Yes.
Is that upcharge?
That's the upcharge, and that's what we're bidding, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, any other questions on it? All right, we'll move on to the next one.
It's clear as mud.
It's about like those cents over here with
The next bid opening will be from Ohio Valley Drainage, and this is on culverts.
Braden's getting a lesson on how sexy government can be sometimes. Material bids. This will be riveting for a first timer. Gonna learn all he ever wanted to about rock and sand and asphalt.
Most of those probably only contain 2 copies, because that's all we requested.
Okay, we have gotten one bid from Ohio Valley Drainage on culvert pipes, And if you'll let me do this right.
Bill, may I make a suggestion, instead of reading all these bids
Yeah.
out, that you,
Yeah, there's only one bid, so we all got a copy. Well, let's just go and move on to this, to let me review it and come back with the recommendation instead of prolonging fiscal court for the one bid on
Yeah,
pipe. Is
fine by me.
that okay with everybody?
Yes.
So, all right, the next one we have is from Mulzer Cruststone. This will be Cruststone and Sandon River gravel pricing. They only gave 2 copies, so I'm gonna have to read this one. So. All right, so let's start off with here. I'm gonna read the size of the material and the price per ton picked up. This is just at Mulzer Cruststone. All right. Number 3s, 1840, 57s, 1940, no, excuse me. 3s, 1940, that's 1940. Number 3s, 1940. 57s, 1940. 68s is 2125. 9Ms, 2220. DGA, 1780. Riprap, 10-inch, 2350. Riprap, 12-inch, 2350. Riprap, 18-inch, 2470. Fill sand, 1180. Mortar sand, 1545. River sand not available. Regular pea gravel at 1960. That's per ton picked up. There you go. The next one is from Hazex. I'm assuming it's a rock bid also. And yes, that's what it is. In their bid, I'm going to read you 3 prices. I'm going to read you the material first, the price picked up, the price delivered to the road department, and the price delivered to any point within the county. 57s, $21, $23.26, $27.77. 9Ms, $23.11, $25.37, $29.88. DGA, $18, $20.26, $24.77. 10-inch riprap, $22.58, $24.84, and $29.35. The next one is from Audubon Sand and Gravel.
Bill, when on that Hazex one, you said that you was going to bid it, they were going to bid it delivered anywhere in the county?
Yeah, that was the 3rd number.
So would they spread it?
Do
If
I
they
know?
delivered it, say you wanted it on Straight Line Road, would they come down and spread the gravel for us
Yeah, they'll spread it.
at that price?
At that price, but you'll have to have your grader there and everything like that. Yeah,
Okay, just
Yeah.
curious.
yeah. Okay. Audubon Sand and Gravel. This is FOB price picked up. Number 3 stone, 1875, 57, $19. 68s, 20. 8-9Ms, $20. DGA, $18.50. Class 1 riprap, 12-inch, $24. River sand, $11.55. Fill gravel at $18.50. And I do have enough to give you all one of these. Okay. The next bid is from Moit Concrete, assuming this is for concrete. $3,500 PSI Class A at $127.50 a yard, 4,000 PSI at $129.50. Digable flowable fill at $84 and structural flowable fill at $92. Calcium chloride additive at $2.50. Low chloride accelerator at $4. Non-chloride accelerator at $5.50, retarding admixture at $2. Ice price per pound is 40 cents. Hot water at $4. Secondary reinforcing fiber at $7. Straight cement $5. Super plasticizer at $6. Mid-range slump enhancer $3.50, and exposed aggregate pea gravel at $4 additional charge.
Bill, could you explain the difference between the diggable flowable fill and the structural flowable fill?
Yep, that's exactly what it means, Charlie. When you put down diggable flowable fill, it's in there where you can scratch it back out with like a backhoe or teeth.
Right.
And when it's not, it's of the nature with the cement in it where you're gonna have to jackhammer it out.
Okay, so it's just going to make it really hard?
Yes,
Okay.
so. Last bid, and the only bid for Bituminous Concrete is from Rogers Group.
No, sir, thank you.
Okay. Material price loaded on the truck surface is at $77, binder at $75, and base at $71.75 at the batch plant. Applied to the roadways, surface $80.25 a ton, binder at $78 per ton, base at $74.50, and a 1 foot wide, 4-inch thick DGA shoulder at $41.50 per ton. Maximum width that the contractor's equipment can apply in one pass, 25 feet. Any questions? I would like to take these all under advisement and get back with the recommendation to fiscal court at the next meeting.
Bill, if you got a 25-foot wide road, how many tons do you need for a mile?
It would depend on the thickness, Charlie.
4 inches.
Basically, we don't have too many 24-foot wide roads. Basically, our roads will run around 16 to 18 feet on an average in the county, and you're basically looking at right at $75,000 to $80,000 per mile.
How thick is that?
Okay.
That's only 2 inches.
That's on
up.
an inch and a half thickness.
Inch and a half thick.
Inch and a half overlap. Okay?
But,
That what you were looking for?
well, sort of, I'm just
Yeah,
trying to.
I mean, the tonnage will vary on the width, but we've done enough roads to know that you're looking at about $80,000. Now, if the price goes up much or that, price goes up per ton. But right now, you know, I mean, that's what I'd say, based on these numbers, that's what we're looking at.
On the
When I come back with the at the next fiscal court meeting, I can give you an exact breakdown.
Okay. On the road that we did blacktopped in Tim's district that had never been blacktopped, did we only put 1.5 inches down?
No. On the new road, we put 3 inches of base.
Okay, that's,
So, yeah,
okay.
we know.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, we don't do anything less than, put it this way, if we require, when a subdivision gets built, okay, it's 3 inches of base and 2 inches or 1.5 inches of overlay surface.
I know it would surprise you, but before you became here, they were putting down like a 1/2 inch, and
Before I came here,
you
we
were
won't talk
wasting
about
your
it.
money.
Yeah, it was not done to the same standards
I appreciate
that we
it.
require roads to be built now.
I appreciate it.
So,
Thank you.
Any other questions?
The 1 foot.
Yes, sir.
4 inch, curb, I guess, shoulder. We don't do that on all our roads though, right? So,
We don't have the right of way to do it on most of it.
No, he's talking about the gravel shoulder
Oh.
on each one. We put it down there, we always did that before we put the safety shoe edge where the cars can recover, because basically it was straight up and down. Now with the safety shoe edge being put on the asphalt, it allows cars to recover should they run off the road. To a certain extent. Depends on how deep
it
the
goes
shoulder
off.
is down from the road. But
Right.
it's what we do now. And yes, there are roads that need a safety shoulder put on them. And we will be addressing that scenario at budget time, because my road superintendent has brought that to my attention that he would really like to see out of our rock budget a certain percentage or a certain dollar amount to be utilized for safety shoulders. So, anyway, that's something else at budget time.
Would that, if you're in the process of doing that, where you've got your head walls right next to the wall of the road, will that take care of those where they?
Charlie, we have been trying to remove existing head walls since I've got here, fixed object removal. That's one of the things, a lot of those fixed head walls were poured back in the WPA days.
Yes.
They were, back when that was done, they built cars with different types of materials and frames. A car hits one of them now and it basically will tear it apart. So we have been in the process of systematically, as we go down through our roads, where we can, if it's feasible and we have the money to do it, to replace those head wall culverts with longer culverts with just shoulders over them, or a wider box culvert where you eliminate them completely. And that's what's been going on, and we've been doing that for 20-plus years now. So, I mean, the county roads have been systematically having them removed. So,
Okay.
any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
However, Bill, you're not done.
Yeah, you got to keep going, Bill.
Get my stuff.
2 bid recommendations.
Nancy, if you'd come up here, please. Okay. At the last meeting, we opened up the bid on a roll-off truck. This would be a Mack Granite truck to replace a 2006 model that we have at the recycle building. Nancy has 10 roll-off containers that she uses this truck to facilitate the movement of all this. This includes our trash, our metal, recyclables, and also they are utilized in our community cleanups. So it's an integral part of everything from recycling to solid waste. Now, this upgrade would constitute a $129,000 new unit and a $54,607 mechanism that goes on the truck to use the roll-offs. We're applying for the $54,607 to be reimbursed through a solid waste grant that, would help offset the cost of this. So the total price of this thing is $183,607. It would be my recommendation that we go ahead and approve the purchase of this. And what we're looking at right now is the unit will be built in June, which will be this fiscal year. We'll utilize the money out of the road department capital to purchase it in lieu of the fact that our approved single axle dump truck will not be built until the first quarter of 2023 and will have to be rebudgeted at that time for next year's budget. And Nancy will be able to apply for this grant, and I think she will be very successful in getting it due to the age of the piece of equipment we're wanting to replace and the number of recycling centers that are only operating in the Commonwealth. She has been very successful every year of getting everything she's asked for. And this unit will last, because it will be kept in a new hangar facility in out of the weather, I think it'll last another 20 to 25 years of service for our community.
You hear the recommendation. This is a Mack, correct?
Yes, sir.
And what was the vendor again?
Mack Granite is the truck, and be bought through Volmac of Evansville in cooperation with Municipal Equipment Sales out of Louisville. That's where the mechanism comes from. And I've talked with these gentlemen at the CAECO convention, and they are the ones that informed me that they had a unit that was already ordered that's in the works that will fit into this scenario and work for us.
Bill, this was put out for bids?
Do what?
This was put out for bids?
Yes. Yeah,
Make a
we
motion.
opened these bids back in
Right. I
December.
just want to make sure.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions, Mr. Gold? Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
You're
And
on.
next, you have a, Nancy, anything you want to throw in? I'm sure you're looking to have more help with the roll-offs. Absolutely.
Well, the community cleanups every weekend, I was just praying that the roll-off truck did not break down.
Yeah,
So this will be good.
excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you have a parking building recommendation.
Yes, we received 2 bids. I reviewed the bids. One was from Clearspan for $135,348, and the other was from Kirby Building Systems, and it was for $100,267. I make the recommendation that we go for the $100,267. It was more than what we actually had anticipated, but the price of steel has gone up. We are locked in at this price. It's about $15,000 higher than I had originally got the quote on it, but that's how much it's gone up. But that 100,000 is better than 130 something. So, be my recommendation we go with this, and we're looking at a delivery date of the steel sometime in May. So we will keep our current structure up till that time, and then start taking it down before the arrival of the metal, and hopefully we'll have it up before I leave.
You heard a recommendation?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions of Bill? All those in
It's-
favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
All right, glad to get through those. In your packet, you have the sheriff's monthly report. Sheriff Crafton, anything you want to add to that? No. Okay. You get a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
You have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Treasurer Ryder, you have some claims?
From the general fund to Purcell Tire in the amount of $927.32. This is for EMA vehicle tires and accessory, and is to come from the EMA supplies appropriation line. From the jail fund to Advanced Document Solutions, $1,166.88. This is for a copier lease, and is to come from the data processing equipment appropriation line. To ERS OCI Wireless in the amount of $3,333.60. This is for portable radio service agreements and also the repeater, and is to come from the Communication Equipment Appropriation Line, to U.S. Bank, which is the credit card, in the amount of $800.39. This is for miscellaneous supplies, the majority of these being from the Office Supplies Appropriation Line. This is all.
Make a motion to pay the claims.
I have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
I have no old business. Any old business before the court?
Judge, I might have something, and if you don't want to address it, you don't have to. I was reading some of the information out of the ARPA and what you can use it out of lost revenue. And if I looked at it right, does that mean we can actually put more money into the general fund out of the ARPA funds?
Yeah, I was going to bring that up in the good of the county, but
Well, that's okay. We can
with
wait
our,
if you want.
I'll just say it now. With the new guidance from the Treasury, any community that's getting $10 million or less in ARPA money, which we fall into because we're getting 8.8, we can assume that all of that is lost revenue and pull it all into our general fund as lost revenue.
Gosh, that's great.
And pulling it as lost revenue gives us much more flexibility on how we spend it. And we have about, I think, a little over $2 million in that separate ARPA fund now. We will be getting $4 million plus in June, or second half of that. I plan to bring to the court the idea we just go ahead and do that, pull it all in, and that gives us the most amount of flexibility with that money. So it's good news.
Yes,
and,
it is. Just one more
Sure.
item that seems like I'm getting having a lot of conversation is about the broadband in the county. You know, the high-speed internet.
Right.
And we all know Kenergy's kind of moving kind of slow on that, but yeah, you know, I guess other people are reading the same thing I'm reading. And then that ARPA funds, you know, you can actually spend it,
Right.
expanding that.
Right.
Anything you can add to it, updates as where we're at with it?
I posted on Facebook a couple weeks ago, I think, and I think most of you might have seen that, but Kenergy's in the process of getting PSC approval, Public Service Commission approval. It's actually the PSC where the wheels turn pretty slowly. And they do have what's called an intervener, which is a group that has raised an objection, and that is the Kentucky Cable and Broadband Association. And I think they have 6 members total, and they're all the legacy cable providers. And they haven't detailed their objection yet, but that will slow this down even more. Having an intervener could slow this down even more. However, a hearing has been scheduled on March 31st for this application for Kenergy to be able to provide broadband. At that time, hopefully the commission will rule on any objections that the interveners file, specific objections. If those are rejected, the process can move on. If they're not, then they have to work out what the complaint is and what the intervener's basis for complaining is. So in the next week or two, I'm going to push out a link where the public can make comments regarding this public hearing and this case. And at that time, I think we can get a lot of people from our community to urge the PSC to support Kenergy's application and allow them to do this. I think that, in my estimation, the PSC and other regulators are going to be getting a lot of applications for various entities to be providing broadband internet, because it's probably the #1 issue we have in rural Kentucky. So the reason the PSC is handling this one is because Kenergy is an electrical co-op and the PSC regulates electrical cooperatives. But I think if this proves effective and Kenergy is allowed to do this, you'll see other electric co-ops in the state follow suit. And they should. They have a unique position to be able to provide this service quickly because they already have the easements and the poles. They're going to have to spend a lot of money, but there's a lot of public money out there, and we can, if we choose, use ARPA money to help speed up the process in Henderson County, to help them afford the build-out. And I think I might have mentioned in the past that their prospective pricing on what they'll be able to provide is really competitive. The last I heard, their suggestion was anywhere from 75 to 100 megabytes, which is much faster than is mostly available in the county, would only be about $50 a month, which is very affordable. Up to 1 gig of speed, which probably don't need that much ever, but if you did, it would cost about $70 to $80 a month, which again is very affordable. So the prospects are terrific. The PSC process is moving, and March 31st is going to be a really telling public hearing date to see how fast this is going to go the rest of the year.
So it could be another year, possibly.
Well, it depends on the PSC, but if that meeting goes well and they get approval right after that, hopefully the build-out of the network for Kenergy could begin before the end of this calendar year, which would be
So
great.
they'd be letting out contracts by the end of this year.
Yeah, they have a partner in this effort named Connexon, which is a company that is in the business of helping electrical co-ops set up these fiber networks and running that business for Kenergy in partnership. And I think that arrangement's already been settled, or that's part of the application. I don't know how much their bidding process would entail, even if they did. I think that all that administrative requirement would be pretty fast, I think. It's just the build out of the network that takes time. You know, they got to string fiber to every Kenergy customer that wants this. And that takes time. However, you know, what makes it so effective, I think, for Henderson County is 95% of our rural residents are Kenergy customers. They're on that network already. There are a few that aren't KU. Don't know what to do about that. KU would have to make that decision. At the same time, Watch Communications and the Connect Grad Network, as you know, we got a grant for them earlier this year. They're building out their capacity, so there may be some opportunities for people who are not Kenergy customers to utilize those improved technologies, and hopefully by the end of this calendar year, we'll just be in a much better situation. That's a long-winded answer to your question.
No, but a good one. It seems to be a pretty popular topic. You know, it seems people are talking. I get calls on it as where we at on it. You know, and I don't go into those details like you did, but I appreciate it. Thank you, Judge.
The one problem I see, and it may be up to us to try to get in touch with the people out in the county, a lot of them don't have Wi-Fi. So when you have a meeting or a hearing like this and we're going to put it out for them to give comments back, normally you do that on the internet. They don't have the internet, so we may have to, I don't know, provide some kind of paper for them to say something, but I know the cable companies don't want it because it's competition.
Right.
We may need to do something to try to help the public get their information to this meeting so they can say, hey, we need this, because we do. I mean, it's just something that...
And I do think Kenergy is willing to put information in the paper bills that people who still ask for paper bills get with that information. And we can work with Kenergy to do that.
That would be great. Yeah, good. I hadn't thought about that, Brad. That's good.
Any other old business? For good of the county, anybody from the audience like to say something for good of the county? Mr. Huback, have you not had enough microphone time today?
No, I have not, sir. I'd just like to give the fiscal court an update on our snow event. Last Thursday and Friday, we were out in force with all of our units. We had only 2 small incidents where 2 of our units slid off the road, but we were able to get them back on the road ourselves without having to utilize tow trucks. Other than that, there's no other incidents. We worked 2 hours of overtime on Thursday. We didn't work any overtime on Friday, keeping the cost down as much as possible. Our roads were in what I felt in as good a shape as they could have been, considering the fact that the temperatures would not interact with the de-icing agents at that point. Total cost, we spent about $5,000 in regular time, about $1,000 in overtime, about $11,000 in materials, and about $5,000 in equipment costs. So total was about $22,000 for the event, which that's what it cost the county actually to go out and take care of the roads those 2 days. So.
And I think it's interesting to put a dollar figure on that. So when we get snow and ice and we have to redirect all of our resources into dealing with it, you know, $22,000 for 2 days of work, you know, think about the past when we've had weeks of things to deal with, and it gives you an idea of how much it costs to maintain our roads and do these sorts of things, and why budgeting well helps with all that. So.
And that's what utilizing 2 employees per unit too, because for safety reasons, that extra set of eyes in that vehicle makes a huge difference. And we normally only work the daylight hours because of the safety factor involving the public at nighttime, so.
Thank you, Bill.
Question?
No?
No,
Thank you.
appreciate it, Bill.
Yeah,
How
thank
do-
you, Bill.
I do have a question, Bill. How do you budget for that? You just
don't.
look at the app, okay, there, good answer. He didn't lie.
Okay, we allot a certain amount of overtime, okay, in the budget that we feel is adequate to cover it. And that number has come down through the years because we have gotten better at what we do, because we have better equipment and better people. So there's just a set number, and you just hope that Mother Nature don't blow it on you.
Oh, yes.
Okay? And it's the same thing with the salt. It's a gamble every year. There's years we don't use any salt. I mean, last year we put salt on the trucks the one day and sent them out, and we didn't use $1,000 worth of salt, but that's good. You don't want it. You don't want
Right.
to use it, okay?
Right.
But you trying to budget for it, it's a gamble. But I mean, through the past years, we kind of get to know that hey, we might get 3 events.
Right.
Is maybe the average. So that 25,000 for overtime, or 20,000, whatever it is in my budget, that covers it. Okay. And
Okay.
we don't use overtime unless we have to. We don't do projects unless the only time we work overtime doing something is if it's an emergency or we got to finish it up to get the road back open. And we try not to do that. We try to allot the proper amount of time to get the job done during regular hours. So.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. Reverend Johnson.
Judge and Magistrate, Happy New Year to everybody. We just want to announce that on next Monday, which is the federal holiday for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the Henderson County Human Rights Commission will be having their day of celebration event. That will be at the First United Methodist Church. They're at 338 3rd Street. Miss Pam Reed, I'm sure who everyone's already met and been blessed to be in her presence, has agreed to be our guest speaker for that day. That is open to the community. Also, it will start at 12 o'clock noon. Also, Mr. Bill Stevens will be broadcasting that live for us on WSON, and it'll be broadcast through their First United Methodist Church YouTube, Facebook. So if you can't come out, we're asking you to please support that event for us, as we are stronger and better together. That's our theme for this year. So we're looking forward to seeing everyone. We'll have a representation from the city, the county, as well as the community. Our program is very diverse. Our special guest musicians will be the Henderson County Fine Arts choir under the direction of Miss Heather Eves. So we're looking forward to that and the program that we put together for our tri-state community. Also, Miss Reed will be signing books at the end of the program. She wrote a book entitled Flow, and hopefully her books get here in time with shipping and all that, so we're keeping our fingers crossed. But if you do have a copy of her book, please bring that. She'll be autographing that book as well as selling her books at the end of the program. So that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend.
Anybody else for good of the county? If not, Master McCollum, anything for good of the county?
Well, I just hope everybody will stay safe. I know we've got another surge going on. Apparently it's not as dangerous. I think we got, 700,000 per day now in the United States are getting this disease. In a way, I think it's probably a good thing, because I think in a month or so we're going to see this thing go down as more people build up immunity to it. It's a terrible way to have to build up the immunity to get the disease, but 80% of those that are getting it are not vaccinated. So I hope that this thing will go away and we can sort of restore our some normalcy to it. And I mean, this is sort of what happened in 1918 with the really bad flu. It sort of it got more people got it, and then it wasn't quite as deadly, and then we get flu shots every year. So I'm hoping that's what happens, because I'm really tired of having to stay home and stay away from things and try to protect people that aren't vaccinated, like young children and whatnot. Then so I would encourage us to continue to wear a mask and try to use those things that we can do that can control it, like washing our hands and using sanitizer and doing things like that. All is good in the 5th district. I'm tired of the cold already and ready for spring. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Magistrate Berry.
Thank you, Judge. I don't have a whole lot, but Braden, congratulations to you. I'm going to surprise you here. You know there's a test on all those numbers that we talked about to have lunch. You got them all right here, do you? No, I'm teasing. I'm teasing. You just concentrate on lunch and how much you can eat. That's the test. All right. But congratulations, parents as well. I know you're proud of him. We're glad to have him here. And I know he gets back to school. Everybody will be proud of him out there. So glad to have you. That's about it, Judge. Everything's good. Oh, Bill, I did call Bill during the snow, and had a fella call me that had to go to chemo, and he was worried because he couldn't get out of his street. And they went out and took care of it. And he texted me back, and he was so excited. He was very grateful to you to get that done. So we appreciate that. All's good in District 1. Thank you.
Thanks for that story, Magistrate Berry. Thank you, Bill. Mr. Gold.
Again, congratulations, Braden. I said to him at the beginning, I said, a lot of what we do is boring but important. And he said, oh, you know, I like hearing about random things. Then he got to hear about rocks and culverts and gas prices and things like that. I don't know if he still feels that way or not, but, you know, it was great having you here, and congratulations. North is a really big school, and a school with a whole lot of great students, and to be picked as the one out of that whole school to be given this honor, that's a huge deal, and it's been proclaimed to be your day. Nobody else can say that, so that's pretty good. And you're taking him to lunch? Or who's taking him?
Okay.
Well,
I wasn't sure.
If he's paying, get extra dessert, get some to take home, get some to take home to your friends and family.
Maybe your classroom would like to have.
Whole class, everything. Do you want to say, very glad to hear from Reverend Johnson that Pam Reed's going to be speaking at that event. Pam is fantastic. If many of you all may have met her through the Boys and Girls Club campaign. She was a consultant for that. And I've got her book, Flow, Feel Love Over Worry. It's a devotional, and I'm going through my second time through it right now. It's a really good book, and a great, kind of weekly devotional type thing that has been impactful to me. So I'm looking forward to coming out and hearing her. Any chance to be around her and hear her is usually a very inspiring situation. With regard to the county attorney's office, despite masking, vaccinations, I've got a fogger where we fog the office routinely. We've got several people out with COVID. About a third of our attorneys right now are out and had been vaccinated, and despite best efforts. But that's part of being on the front lines. You know, we're dealing with folks in court every day, having interactions with people, and so it's not a huge surprise. But just bear with us. If you're looking for something from our office, Kurt, contact me, just because it's not sure who's going to be in and out from day to day as far as quarantining and whatnot. But I'm in, and we'll get everything taken care of.
Thank you. Master Putman.
Kind of lost for words here. It seems like Charlie, appreciate your comments. You too, Keith and Steve as well. I think y'all have covered the whole thing, but I will say congratulations to Braden and the family as well. I know you got to be proud of him. And I guess everything is good in the 4th, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Master Moran.
Well, I'll kind of repeat what everybody else has said and congratulate Braden again and his family. And as a former teacher, I appreciate lovely students like he is and hard workers, and I appreciate families that support their students. I really do. And I'd also like to thank Bill. I'm always, and being in the county, you always get calls from Columbia or somebody that needs their roads cleaned off, and he always responds so positively and does such a good job, and I do appreciate him. And you all too. I miss seeing you all. It's been a long time, it seems like, but anyway, it's good to be back, and everything's good in a second.
And your husband Dennis is on the mend.
He's on the mend.
Yeah,
It's a good thing. It's been a long process, but it will get there.
Master Southern.
Congratulations again. It's something special to get picked out of that many kids to be, or young men and women, to be honored for, naming this to be your day. And it's the only time I ever got picked was to go to the office for in trouble. So you're on the right track. You're doing good. And Bill, I had several people call and was happy with the way the roads got cleared off and sanded, some slick spots.
That's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, well, it happened, so I appreciate that. Other than that, it's all good. Thank you.
Thank you, and I'll echo everyone's congratulations to Braden, and I'm looking forward to knowing where we're going to lunch. Have you decided yet? Where are we going? Applebee's. Good deal. Excellent. Excellent.
Should have said Hobbs Steakhouse.
Got to keep the money in Kentucky, Bill. Good. Yeah, congratulations to your family. It is a big deal, and if there's one thing I'm really glad you heard is that in the midst of all this relatively boring information and exercise that we have to go through every year to do the things that we do, that little story that Magistrate Barry told about helping the one person with chemo, I think is an example of how, even though everything the government does isn't interesting or seems relevant, things like that happen all the time, and if we don't do one, it's hard for us to do the other. And it's not that, every day we get a call from a particular person with a particular need that we have to respond to, but when we do, we're able to, and in the meantime, we're doing things that help a wide range of people. So the ability to do both, and especially come up with a particular solution to a problem being experienced by a citizen, makes me proud, and also, I think, points to why we go through all this. If we didn't have good equipment, if we didn't have good people, we wouldn't be able to help in situations like this. So, a lot of paddling under the water that nobody ever sees, like your average duck. But when we're able to do something that really impacts people, it makes it all worthwhile. So,
Judge, I have one more thing.
yeah.
I don't want to hear myself talk. If Mother Nature cooperates tomorrow after lunch, we will seal the new concrete at the courthouse steps, and then we'll be able to open the front doors. So
That's
it's
amazing.
Supposed to get up above 40-something tomorrow where we can do that.
Everybody keeps stealing my thunder, Butch and Bill. I'm crossing off everything I was going to talk about. Good to the county. So, Braden, I hope you see that government's not always exciting, but it's important. It's important.
Brad, if I could just mention one thing. And
Sure.
what you're saying is absolutely right, Braden, but it's not just during the storms. When we were doing the blacktopping, I got a call from somebody that had to go to the doctor, and they were afraid that they were going to be blocked in and couldn't get to the doctor. Mr. Hubiak made sure that they did it in a timely fashion to get around so they could get out.
Yeah.
So it's not just in the storms,
Yeah.
we do it and make it
And
make
we're
it
responsive, We're responsive. I'm proud of that. The front steps, if you haven't been able to look at them, I encourage you to check these windows. It's a good vantage point from here because they're not actually free to walk on yet. But Hazex has done a real good job. They did it faster than I thought. I think they've come in on budget, if I'm not mistaken. They look good. They're safer. and after we get them sealed, they'll be open. But that whole project went pretty well. Weather helped us, and they got it done. Kurt Wiesen and I looked every day to see how the progress was going, what was happening. It was an interesting process to watch. So our compliments to Hazex, and I think we have a much more usable situation for the public out there, and one that's aesthetically pleasing and will last a long time. Along those same lines, I've been working with James Bosler, our new maintenance chief down here, and James is doing a wonderful job. And having seen how much better the steps look, he thought it would be good to get some pricing on what it would take to pressure wash the outside of this building. It hasn't been done in a long time, and I think you're going to be seeing that happen. I'll be bringing it to the court for later this spring when it gets warmer, when we can actually do it. But one of the firms that is interested in doing the job did some testing on a small piece to see how much chemical additive it would take to really clean it. And that one little test plot, the difference is amazing, incredibly brighter and wider. And I don't think you realize how much gunk limestone sucks in over the years until you clean it. And so combine that with the steps, if we can make sure we have an affordable price and can afford to do it in our budget, I think it's going to make this building look so much better, and people will be proud of that. So stay tuned on that. We had a reception last week for Paula Wilson. This week is her last week. Friday is her last day. And we certainly appreciate her service to the county over the years. She's training her replacement now. That's going very well. And I think it'll be a smooth transition. And I know Paula appreciated everybody who came out for that reception. It was a lot of people. And that was good. We will have our fee pool department workshop this Thursday at 3 o'clock right here. And I want to remind everybody about that. And I think I'm done here for the first meeting of 2022. It's gone pretty smoothly. So without any other good of the county notions, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor can leave.